Union. I hope that you're all well. I hope you're all thriving. Hello to America's beautiful children. We love you. And so today I have some amazing guests. They are legacy builders, and their names are Briagene and Benny. Hi, Briagene and Benny.
Hi.
Hi. So go ahead and tell everyone that is watching who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Briagene Moore. I'm a sophomore actually now, going into my sophomore year at Cal State Dominguez Hills. I'm a health science major, and I basically am alumni of Black Students of California United. And my position was pro tempore president. So yeah.
Nice. How's that college life treating you?
Woo, it's stressful, but we get in there. We get in there.
I was talking about, here on my show, managing moment by moment, day by day, right?
Definitely.
Hi everyone. I'm Benny Williams. I'm a freshman political science major at Morehouse College, and I served as the vice president of BSU Youth Senate.
Amazing. And so how's college life treating you?
It's a wonderful experience. I love my HBCU.
That's nice. That's nice. Are you back in California right now? Yeah. So, what does it mean to be a legacy builder? Can you tell people about that? We were talking about, the Black Students of California United yesterday with some of the amazing leaders, Angie and Ramsey. And now we have you, legacy builders, on. So can you guys speak to that?
I could definitely say being a legacy builder is basically doing something that other people would be afraid to do, like starting something that, our generations to come after us can have to, actually pick up and just do something great, just make something for ourselves, especially being, here our focus is, Blacks in education, minorities in education, and just making sure that we're, filling in those gaps.
Yeah, being a legacy builder, it means a lot because going to BSU, like they told you about like the people who came before you and who laid the foundation for you to be able to, go to college, vote. So it means a lot to be able to be one of those bricks that helps people that come after you.
And so, I talk about the importance of our children, my Black children, understanding history from a proper perspective, right? And not allowing someone to create or design a narrative for them. And so basically, how important is that to you guys to understand your history from a proper perspective?
It's very important because for most Black kids, like you learn about history starting at 1619 when your people were enslaved. So it's important to know that there's history before that, and though African civilizations were the ones that built that initiated STEM, science and math. So it's important to know that you have worth, and I think that's what we need to be teaching kids.
Definitely. It's all about knowing where you came from so you know where you're going. So that's why it's so important to make sure you have that education and you know that you're stemming from, kings and queens and people who actually started, modern civilization and stuff. So that's definitely really important to just have that proper perspective that I'm not just, someone who was brought out here for slavery and to, basically make a civilization that we see today is not the best. But
Right.
Also knowing that we actually came from, kings and queens who actually started things and were, like you say, legacy builders, who kind of put that brick in the foundation to start up something, so amazing and beyond us.
Right, and that history is so rich, and is directly connected to our identities and what we identify with. And so that's amazing that you guys understand that. And I admonish all of you who are watching, to move past the slavery narrative and the 1619 date and actually look way further than that, right? And there has been, a narrative creation, but that's not all of who we are. And don't teach your children that that's who they are, because basically they'll approach life with the truth, knowing who they are, having a sense of identity, having a sense of worth and understanding and confidence of which they see things and how they approach things. And so I definitely do recognize that that is important.
Yes, it definitely helps with racial esteem. That's very important to know who we are as people.
Yeah. So political science, what made you decide to choose that area of
I
study?
mean, politics has always been like interesting, and when you see like how I'm interested in how like policy works and how it could like help benefit black community, black and brown communities, and just making sure that I want to eventually get into politics. So just making sure that I have the knowledge and I have like the faith to do it.
Right. And being a legacy builder is and a part of Black Students of California Unite is definitely civic engagement, right? So you guys already have a wealth of experience, understanding, and connectedness on that social justice piece and civic engagement. So I'm so proud of you. Brianne, what about your area of study? What made you decide to pursue that?
Well, so health science has always been my calling. I loved, anything about public health, about the medical field. And basically what called me onto that is just kind of, fixing where we go wrong when it comes to serving our Black, women and men in the health field. We have a lot of issues going on today with, Black women being, the top to have, poor health and, lack of health when it comes to pregnancies and stuff. So just wanting to be a part of that change and, pushing forward and changing how the health field looks and how it serves us as a people, that's definitely what, pushed me to go into health science. And, being a part of BSCU, that definitely helped me understand, how I can be that change, how I can be, that leader in my field. So yeah, like Vinny said, like just having that faith and, being able to get a jump start into things is amazing.
That's amazing. I am so, look at our young, Black, intelligent leaders of tomorrow and today. I am so proud and just so amazed, so hopeful, even for my son, knowing that, you guys are ahead of he's 9, right? My daughter's 14, and you guys are just blazing. I so appreciate you all. And, basically, you're right about that health piece, right? We got to see when the pandemic started having its impact,
right.
It had an impact on our community in a way where, it brought to the forefront those health disparities, economic disparities that we suffered from before the pandemic even happened, right? Just that lifelong wellness and access to quality care.
Right.
So important. I appreciate that. So how do you feel that BSCU has shaped your lives and those of the students around you?
Well, I would say I probably wouldn't be at Morehouse if it wasn't for BSCU, because I didn't even know about HBCUs or like other colleges outside of the UCs. So I say BSCU really like met me where I was at instead of my school district and my high school, because BSU brought in that culture knowledge. It brought in that knowledge that helped me like grow my identity, and it like taught me financial literacy,
Nice.
taught me all the stuff that schools lack, but they know it's a problem. They taught me how to advocate for myself. And I think it started with the LCAP funding and knowing that there's money out there that's supposed to go towards students, but it's not going to, and that we have to be, it's sad that Black students have to advocate for ourselves, but it taught me the tools to, be an advocate, analyze critically, and just speak.
That's amazing. What you're saying, us as parents, as Black parents face as well, just fighting for that funding, fighting, for access, within the LCAP and equity within the LCAP. And so I so appreciate that you were there as a student advocating. And it's very true. HBCUs weren't even introduced to me while I was in high school, and it was like something that I didn't understand. that we had access to that, right? It's really crazy. Like, they really promote it, which I'm not against, UCs and Cal States, because we're here in California, right? But just thinking outside of the state was never a part of something that we discussed even when I was in high school. I'm 42 now. So to see that that's still a phenomenon, definitely want to get your kids, for those who are watching, plugged in to opportunities outside of the norm, and just check them out. You never know what that could be for them. That could be the difference between one way that they go or another. So definitely, parents, look outside of what is just presented to you. Rajane, how has it shaped your life?
So being that I came into BSU, academically it wasn't like the best for me. And I kind of wasn't really thinking about a college education. I kind of was at a time where I was ready to give up on myself. BSU allowed me to, like Benny said, self-advocate and, be the leader and get out my comfort zone. And taught me that, titles is nothing if you're not doing the work. So, it was cute and stuff. I called myself, the BSU president stuff, but okay, what does that mean if you're not out there doing the BSU president work outside of, being on campus and stuff? Where's the community engagement? Do you know what's going on in your community and stuff? So BSU allowed me to, be able to go outside of my comfort zone and find that, that research and stuff, understanding what's going on around me and stuff, and, actually be a leader and put the work into it. So yeah, it definitely gave me a lot of work ethic. It allowed me to just, self-advocate and find myself in my true calling and understand, like finding myself and understanding that, college education will actually help me get where I need to be as not only a person, but also helping my community. So BSU shaped me, to be a leader that I am today, and also being very intelligent, and a go-getter, ambitious. Like, it shaped me into being, the young lady I am today. So it definitely.
That's great. That's great. So what do you guys think has been your biggest challenge now, as college students, but still understanding that you're legacy builders and you're leaders, you advocate? What do you find has been your biggest challenge?
Adulting. I've found out adulting is hard. It's like I guess when you turn 18, you have like more responsibilities than you imagine. Like, as kids, like, we think about, oh, I just want to be adult, but now when you have to start doing adult stuff, it's like, take me back. Like,
oh, you grown now, huh?
Yeah. So it's definitely what my mom was talking about. So, but college, I would say, it took me a while to the development part of having like the study skills, having the time management skills, organization skills, because I mean, in high school, they like, we're just giving work. It's just like repetitive, just giving work. Like, no one ever like taught me like, oh, this is how I study. And then, but if they did teach me study, they only taught me one study skill. So you just have to find out that people learn different. I didn't know about the 7 different types of learning until I got to college. So
wow.
I found out I'm more of a visual learner than an auditory learner. And then some people like learn with hands-on application. So it's just like college teaches you how to use your learning styles, and that's really helped me a lot.
I'd say the biggest challenge for me would have to be just navigating on a new campus and stuff. I think like when we're in high school, we get so like comfortable and situated and stuff. We worked our way up there to the top of the ladder. We like, okay, we know this campus like the back of our hand and stuff. We have family here. We made our place here. I feel like when you come to a new campus and stuff, being that we're both freshmen and stuff, we have to, come out here and find our niche, find our calling. It's different everywhere you go. It's not like, okay, when I come here, I'm going straight for BSU and I want to be president, this and that, because sometimes, you'll get led into a different calling. Like, BSU probably don't need you. They're probably going strong, and all you can do is be there and support and join in. But maybe, you have oh, I have a health science, a health science class and stuff that, needs some tweaking and stuff to improvise for their Black students. Or, I have this program on campus that caters to our homeless youth and stuff, but somehow they're forgetting how to cater to our foster youth or our Black foster youth. So, just finding your niche and your calling has been, it can be very challenging for you because, everything isn't for everybody.
Right.
So definitely just navigating around campus.
And you guys are both, it's really interesting because Benny, you're at a historically Black college and university, and Briagene and Dominguez Hills, I know that you are a part of the small population of Black people there, right?
Right.
And so, you are both in college, and Benny, yes, I agree. We have different modalities of learning, and those modalities of learning need to be supported early on instead of finding out later, right? But now you're both in college, two totally different campuses, utilizing your advocacy skills, utilizing your educational skills and academic, skills, and that is amazing. What message would you give to maybe a middle schooler,
Ooh,
or a high schooler?
Wow.
Oh, you want to go ahead? Go, Benny.
No, you can go.
You can go. Okay, I would definitely say to a middle schooler, be you and just keep pushing for greatness. I feel like in middle school, a lot of people are challenging, with identity and knowing who they are and stuff, and with, beliefs and stuff. I feel like this is where a time where we're most influenced by our environment and stuff that we tend to lose sight of who we are and stuff. So I feel like I would say be you, have fun, and learn about yourself. Take that time, because I feel like when we're coming up, as preteens and stuff, and even being teenagers, I feel like we lose sight of who we are and stuff, trying to fit into a society that's forever changing. So I would definitely say just be you, have fun, ain't nothing better than the original.
And that's, there's only one you. There's only one you. I tell people that all the time. There is no one else that can replace you. There is only one you. So operate in your gifts, talents, and abilities. And that is a good word to middle schoolers. Thank you. What about you, Benny?
I would say mine is more geared towards the parents and the teachers, because all middle schoolers have to do is just go to class and be themselves, and that's what they're gonna be at the end of the day when they're in middle school. I would say that in middle school is when I started learning that I was different. It's like when I started learning I was Black, and that I started learning that I'm not gonna get the benefit of doubt, because early on, like when students come home and say, well, I wasn't talking, the teacher just called on me, that stuff is true. Most teachers don't give Black students the benefit of doubt. So I would say this is for a middle schooler is going to be themselves regardless. They're going to have their dreams. They're going to have what they want to be. And it's going to be the world and the people around them telling them, either affirming their goals or telling them that they're not going to be that in life. So I would say parents need to make sure that their kids are in a safe space and asking their kids how they at school, because when I've started to look back over like high school and middle school, and teachers have said so many like horrible things that they probably don't know because they're microaggressions, but it wasn't my fault. I was just being myself, but it was the teacher that told me, I probably wouldn't be a president of the United States. It was my teacher telling me I probably wouldn't be an NFL player. And I think that's where the problem is. It's not with the student. The students, middle schoolers have goals. They have dreams. It's the world around them that shapes them. So I just hope parents are asking their kids like how their day's going and what their teacher says, because teachers say what a teacher says has a lot of influence because we're with them so much. So just making sure that school districts have like the right teachers that know how to deal with a Black student and know how to talk to a Black, and using like restorative justice practices. So I would just say that's don't put the effort on the middle school. Middle school is going to be themselves regardless. It's the environment they're in. Make that a better place. Make that where they want to dream.
And right now we have this wonderful opportunity in history. The whole world's watching. Everyone is able to self-assess, challenge their beliefs, challenge their biases, right? That, just interrupt them, right? It's never too late to change. I think that we as a people have shown that we're resilient and we overcome, but at the same time, there needs to be some changes that are made, and especially how our children are treated, younger children are treated. It affects them and impacts them for their entire life. And so, building up our children to be overcomers is something that they naturally do, understanding what resiliency looks like, right? However, that doesn't mean that disruption in the status quo and in the norms that have been created around race and society don't need to take place. That definitely is something that needs to be addressed. And as the whole world watches, we see that things are coming to the surface, but they need to be dealt with, and it can happen one person at a time, one family at a time, one community at a time, right? Just challenging our internal beliefs, your internal beliefs, right? How you treat people. Are you looking at people as human beings that deserve dignity and respect? I have to get that message out,
Definitely.
So I appreciate the word. So what, do you have upcoming with regards to Black Students of California United and being legacy builders? I know it's like a pandemic break, so we kind of are like the switch. Like, how are we doing the Zoom? Like, what are we doing, right?
Yeah. So, me and some youth organizers on the 4th of July are going to be at the state capitol, holding a rally. So that's one thing we have forthcoming. But we all our contact and our information is always open to the current students of BSU if they have questions, if they have concerns, or if they need advice. So I leave myself open to all the students still in BSU.
Nice.
Definitely, like Benny said, just allowing ourselves to be support for, our, peers behind us and stuff. Like right now, some students are back in Clovis Unified, they're, pushing for their voices to be heard. And sometimes they look back for that support, like, hey, what would you do in this situation? And just being open for them to, know that you're doing good, you got this, talk how you feel, say what you want. What do you need? Like as a Black, student, what do you need? So it's just like, just being there and, being that support that, we all needed once upon a time, during our educational journey. And also right now being that, COVID-19 closed everything down. I'm in a job. So basically I cater to foster care, homeless youth. And right now what I do is I just, give resources and, be, accessible to them whenever they need anything. So it's just, helping out those who are less fortunate and stuff. And definitely just being there for, my people, understanding that, they have someone here, being that I was a former homeless youth. And also I was, once upon a time in their shoes, it's not always easy. So definitely just giving them support, resources, being accessible to them. If I know something they don't, I'm definitely going to share it. So just giving, like Sankofa, just giving something, leaving it behind for them to pick up on. So yeah.
Thank you so much for your service back to the homeless youth population. Sometimes people forget that we have these issues existing in society and they kind of go under the radar. And so that is definitely a very good public service and to the children that you're doing, and they will always remember you for, just supporting them in whatever ways you can. Benny, I'm kind of curious to know, you left California to go to the HBCU and you're surrounded by this large Black population, right? And now you come back to California, and then what is your thought, right?
I would say that it's definitely a culture shock going back to going to the South. Like my friends from the South will tell me like Atlanta's not really the South, but it's a little more southern than California. So I would say,
right.
but, I just realized that black people are all different. Like there's like we're not all one stereotype. Like it's just crazy. It's amazing because it's all these Black students that are here for one goal. Everybody wants to, I've never been in a space where I heard my classmates say, "Oh, I want to get my PhD in neuroscience," or "I want to get my PhD in biology." Like you just never. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like you never. It's something like you couldn't even dream of it. It's like, and then being in Morehouse, like especially, it's like I walk the halls and I sit in the same seats as Martin Luther King and all these great Morehouse men that have left this campus, and it's just affirming that we Black people have a safe space, and then it's when you leave your HBCU, it's like a confidence that you never knew you have. Like I could go in any. I feel personally I could go in any room, regardless if it was the president of the United States, and I could talk and say what I want and know that I'll be heard. And it's just that confidence boost that your HBCU gives you, and it goes for all HBCUs. And when you leave it, you have that self-esteem, you have that confidence, and you have that knowledge of who your people really are. So so when you take that away from your HBCU and you're not giving it to people, if you're not using your tools that you've learned, you're doing a disservice. So I would definitely say come back to California and going to a HBCU is great.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so to my viewers, parents, caretakers, families, again, I admonish you to go outside of your norm to research history. Look at something internationally, right? Just start researching. Like, don't stay within the little box of this is American history and this is what we're going to study, right? Like, just take the task of going outside of that, look at in different time frames, right? Because there's a whole world. Like, this is not just America. And there is a whole world that exists outside of that. And so teaching your children to have that global view and understanding history, traditions, culture, our history that extends way beyond 1619, right? In an American construct, just doing that is powerful in itself. And just start to create that as a family tradition in your home. Like, we are going to talk about what's happening across the world, right? And what does that look like, beyond just the American history construct? And so as we close, do you guys have a final word of advice or a thought you'd like to share with the people watching?
I was about to say, I love BSCU. If you are, in California and you ever get the chance to be a part of it, I would definitely recommend it with no hesitation. And definitely, if you can't be a part of a BSCU, make your own BSCU, be a part of the change, and make some action happen,
Amen, sister. That's a good word.
Yeah, I definitely say thank you to BSCU. Like, they've done a lot, like Ms. Barfield, Ms. Watkins, Ms. McFadden, like all the founders and the staff, like they definitely help build you up and they support you, like even when you leave. So
and we can't forget about Mr. Ramsey. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I would just say thank you to BSCU, and like the parents should really like look into that organization and send their kids there because it fills a gap.
Yes, definitely in support of everything that you're saying. Shout out to all the BSCU students, supporters, advisors. Thanks for all that you do for our children and our community. And so thank you for coming and sharing your stories and talking about being legacy builders. I so appreciate you guys. You guys stay encouraged. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep using your
education. Thank you for having us.
Right. Yes. Keep on getting that education, utilizing it to help give back to the community. And so you all have been watching Managing Day to Day with me, Christina Laster, and National Parents Union. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all thriving. Goodbye, America's beautiful children. We love you, and we will see you again. Thank you. Tomorrow, same place, same time on the National Parents Union Facebook Live page. Bye.
Bye.